All the truck drivers knew the case of Pola and Alicia. It was never proven that Emilio was the killer, but everyone suspected he was. The story began with a rumor, brought in late one night by a trucker hauling oranges. It was around 11 when he arrived at the stop, completely pale, sweating and drooling, his face full of fright and despair. "Ma'am, do you have something strong to drink?" he asked the woman tending the bar. She handed him a bottle of water. He opened it and gulped it down, then sat at a table to try to calm himself. One of the other drivers, curious, went over to see what had happened. The shaken man told a strange, terrifying story. He said he had come from Rio Verde when he saw a young girl walking at the side of the road, near the entrance to Cerrito. It wasn't common to see anyone there, so he flashed his lights at her. When she turned, he saw with horror that she had no face, a head without features, no eyes, no mouth, a blurred, white body. As the truck got closer, the apparition seemed to evaporate, dissolving into a mass of white smoke that spread across the road before disappearing completely. At first some thought he was imagining things. Another trucker shrugged and said those kinds of sightings happened sometimes on the roads, probably a lost soul in that direction. The frightened man locked himself in his cab and didn't come out until morning. In the days that followed, the sightings kept coming. For a week, several truckers arriving in the town reported seeing the same ghost, a little white woman, faceless and legless, floating at the edge of the road. Sometimes she peered into the cab through the window and then vanished. It terrified the drivers. Many sped through the place without stopping, yet still felt the apparition close by. One Saturday, several drivers gathered for a barbecue and drank until sunset. In the heat of the night, they began to talk about the ghost, and a dare started. Go to the spot and wait for the apparition. They accepted, excited and foolish, boarding a colleague's bus with beers in hand and driving toward Cerrito. A few kilometers later, they reached the place where the ghost was said to appear. They walked beneath a tree by the roadside and saw, indeed, a cross marking the place where someone had died. Curious, they stepped closer and read the name carved on the cross: Alicia López Rodríguez. They realized it must be the young girl who'd been raped and killed weeks before, her body found at that spot, the culprit never caught. They decided to leave, everyone except one of them. He hung back near the truck and began to urinate beside the niche, laughing and taunting the dead woman's memorial. When he moved to get back into the cab, he felt cold hands seize his feet. He fell and hit the stones hard. The others laughed at him at first, but then the man scrambled to his feet and ran toward the truck. When they tried to start the engine, it wouldn't turn over. They were still laughing until one of them glanced in the rearview mirror and saw the girl's ghost standing by the niche. Terrified, they finally got the truck going and drove off as fast as they could. Sometime later, the quiet of the diner was shattered by a frantic man who burst in with bad news. A terrible accident had occurred near the entrance to Cerrito. A trailer had gone off the road. Several drivers raced to the scene to help. What they found was gruesome. The trailer lay overturned, its tank broken, the cab smashed to pieces by the rocks at the roadside. The driver had not survived. His body was crushed and trapped among the twisted metal of the unit. Then they learned the driver's name, Emilio García. The crash had happened only a few meters from Alicia's niche. Rumors spread and people began to puzzle the pieces together in the darkest ways. Coincidence, justice, revenge of the dead. No one knew for sure. The uncertainty lingered until a few days later. One morning, a well-known woman entered the diner. She was a plain-looking lady with her hair tied up and a calm expression. She greeted the owner and, after a while of talking, mentioned that she knew Emilio had died in an accident. "I know," she said. "In a dream my daughter told me she had rested in peace and that her death had been avenged." That same morning she had seen the news of the crash. "May God grant her glory, my daughter," she added. Then Pola said goodbye to everyone and left. They never saw her again. Those who had heard the conversation were skeptical at first, but the truth was plain. After Emilio died, the girl's ghost never appeared again.